Hey friends, this is wishkotheferret. Thanks for hopping into the Ferret Den where we're keeping things warm and we're keeping things cozy. We actually have a reading for the collective today, so we're just gonna free ball it here with some oracle cards. So as always, drop into your heart space, let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. I'm gonna take a moment to anchor myself and get myself in my own space while you do that. Thank you for shrouding me with your protective light, Archangel Michael, and thank you, angels and spirit team, for connecting me with the highest light and the highest purpose. Thank you for drawing me to the parts of our collective that need this message the most. Thank you for drawing them to me and to this reading, and thank you for allowing our audience to pick out the messages that are meant for them. I'm hearing some like general themes, some potential themes that we can have here. I'm just gonna rely solely on the cards here. We're gonna have a main theme coming out that just happened to fall on the floor. I'm hearing, and that kind of, for whatever reason, I don't think this is fully connected, though it could be. For whatever reason, I looked at this card and immediately knew that one of, like, the thing that I heard, something about someone clinging to the past. This is the main central theme of this message, this card here. It says, straddling worlds, wandering between realms. And this is almost like coming out of one world, but not completely out of it. This is having the courage and the bravery to step into another world. This could feel almost like you're not quite sure where you're going, and maybe there's hesitancy because you're not sure what the future looks like for you here. And there's a reason why you're feeling like you're not able to move forward, but Spirit's kind of giving you that little bit of push right now. They're giving me like really strange phrases that I'm not really able to make sense of. It almost seems like they're giving me broken pieces of speech. I'm not really sure why the channel's coming through. Like, I wouldn't say a little bit choppy, but it's something about documenting things. Perhaps you're like charting, they're saying something about charting your journey so far, so perhaps this could have been in the form of journaling. Perhaps you could have been journaling up until this point, or that if you haven't been like charting like your dreams, or you haven't been charting where you were at before leading up to the present moment and charting where you want to be, I think scripting could actually be pretty powerful for you. The term scripting is something that, like, it helps bring your manifestations to reality, but this is also like dreaming what you want into existence too. And it's almost like I'm wondering why you haven't done it yet. If you have done it, then you know that's because that's the energy that I'm working with. But it's almost like Spirit's saying, like, now's the time, because it feels like you could have done it before, but maybe you allowed other things to get in the way. But there's something here that's like holding you back, or that's been pushing you back, and maybe I'm speaking directly to a collective, or specifically to an energy that feels like they could have done this before. It feels like they could have done this, like you could have made moves before for your future, but you chose not to, and you kind of dug your heels in the dirt. And that's okay. Some of us, that's in our life path to just kind of stall like that, and it's in our own karma. I just heard like we need to work through that. So what's stopping us from moving forward? That's something that each of us have to work through. Okay, so let's figure out, let's see kind of what you have to work through. Some of you're actually creating like a steady future for your finances. For some of you, this is related to career, because your astro dice rolled the sun, which is our creation. It is our vitality. It is our self. Anything that comes up from within, I usually regard the sun. I get like solar plexus energy, so I'm getting like a confidence type of vibe, or potentially a confidence issue. Capricorn is the energy of hard work here on the astro dice. Hard, consistent, reliable, strong efforts. Not necessarily the discipline, but willing to front the work and the stability to get to where we want to go. The fact that it's affecting your second house in astrology is our house of finances. So you have this work of creation, or wanting to work with creation. You're needing steady work to get there, or you need some type of stable thing or stable action to achieve this financial outcome that you desire. I do feel like some of you are moving towards finances. So let's see if we can pull some more cards to see what else we have here. But yeah, the main theme of this message seems to be just being stuck between kind of two worlds, or like you feel like you're making progress towards one, or you have this inclination or this desire to move forward in one direction, but you feel stuck in another. I just heard that you're partnered with someone, or perhaps this doesn't have to be romantically, but this is an interesting message, guys. So for some of you, and I don't want to say this for fear that I don't want to like hold some of you. I don't want you to feel like you have to be held back, but I don't know. I feel like I need to be called to say something. So like sometimes it's written in our divine plan, like as messy as it is. There are some people that we are meant to meet. There are some people that we are meant to be with, to learn from, to explore with. This is in the terms just for anything. Romance, professional partnerships, reuniting with family, all this other stuff is written in our soul plan, in our divine landscape of our plan for Earth. And what seems to be the thing here is that it was written, like there are so many things written in your soul plan of like meeting certain people, and perhaps it's hard for you, like Spirit's saying, don't push it. You don't have to push it so much. You don't have to beat yourself up as to why you are not in a certain location, or why you're not in a certain situation by the time you want to be. So if you want to achieve your dreams and you're wondering, why haven't I gotten there yet? There's a reason for that. And perhaps it wasn't because like a great deal, or a great reason for a lot of people's success is, first of all, not only is it hard work, but it's also a great deal of luck. And the universe does have to help take part in that luck. And that doesn't mean that unluckiness is, or quote unquote unluckiness is something, is like a failure or equivalent to the universe not helping you. That's not true. But it does feel like perhaps, I don't know, getting this weird message that perhaps you were meant to meet certain people on your journey, which is why you feel stalled on your path. And that in order to, okay, dang. I don't want to give that message though. So you were meant to meet certain people to help you learn things, okay? And then now that you're learning and transforming, you're kind of coming into a time where you no longer need those things. Perhaps you feel called to separate from certain people, or from certain things, or from certain issues or situations. Perhaps you're stepping away from a career or a relationship. Whatever you feel called to do, this is energy that you should be familiar with, energy that you feel inclined to do, energy that you feel inclined to work with at this present time. So feeling the call to shift away from things that, are no longer resonant with you, but perhaps have served very important, they've served very important lessons for you, back in the day, or like, on your journey thus far in your past. This is what I'm getting when I hear like clinging with the past. It's almost like logically you don't find it necessary, but spiritually you find it necessary. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. I don't want you to take a pause and feel like, oh, did I meet everybody I'm supposed to meet on my journey? Do I have to drag my feet more? If you're feeling the call to move forward now, then that's what you should be doing, is moving forward. If you always go where your intuition calls you to go. But anyway, let's pull from these oracle cards and see what else we have. Oh, interesting. So a lot of you might have to go within in order to figure out your next steps forward, because I am getting this diving for. Sorry, y'all. I'm never comfy in chairs. This is not a comfy chair for me. Fun story that nobody asked for, but when I was in the 2nd grade, my teacher took my chair away because I never sat in it, and I would always like hover over my work, and I wouldn't realize I was doing it. I would just get so focused that I would just, and my whole chair would just fly back, and then students would trip on it. Working in education now, I see the issue with that. So I don't blame her now. But anywho, now that I'm comfy, we have Winter's Dream gestation period. And we also have partnered with that card. We have the angel card, Water Guardian, connect with your emotions. So these two put together, you need this gestation period to connect with your emotions. If you've been feeling called, this isn't quite literally just sitting on the couch, vegging out, doing nothing. Gestation periods are actually very important and they're very intuitive. So coming within and, you know, leading yourself through a lot of meditation, through a lot of self-healing work. And this isn't, I don't see that this is like a really rigorous time for you. I do feel like this is just, if you really just need to be swaddled up in a blanket with a cup of coffee or tea with a book by your windowsill, or just out on the porch or out in nature somewhere, like that's what this gestation period could be for you. This is a time where you are going within, you are dreaming up this new reality for yourself. Not only that, but you're connecting with your feelings, connecting with your feelings of everything that is existing in your life now, and then the types of things that you wish to curate, because you have enough experience up until this point. Like, if you don't know what you want, I want to just like for whatever reason, I'm just getting the feeling that I just want to take that feeling of you not knowing what you want, tossing it up in the air like a volleyball and just spiking it away. Like I'm just, no, knock that out of the park right now, because we're not dealing with that type of energy right now. If you are feeling like you are in that energy, I do want to be the first to say, if you haven't heard it already, that I do feel like you know what you want. It's just, it's hard for you to pinpoint exactly how, like, it's almost like you know how you want to feel, and you might know specific points in your future, specific things that you want to curate, or specific things that you want to happen. You're just not sure, first of all, how it's going to come to fruition. You might not know exactly what you're going to be doing or what that future is going to look like, but you know how you want to feel. You know how, you may know how, or I don't know. It could even be the opposite too. But Spirit is saying, so like, oh, for some of you, this is something that I do, because they're telling me specific phrases that won't make sense to you if I say it out loud, but I know exactly what they're talking about. So like curating phrases, curating responses. So if you're sitting there and you write a question, so really turn your awareness. That really is all spiritual connection is turning awareness. So if you turn your awareness to your heart space and you really focus on just like turning your energy in and just nestling into the seat of your soul, I usually imagine it as like a white light. Like what I do is I just get comfy and warm up and cocoon if I need to be within myself and healing. And then all of a sudden something will come up and I will hear something. Other people might get like in their passing thoughts, usually like they start their stream of consciousness at that point, and that's when divine information comes through. So for me, that's how I connect with my inner self and how I am seated with my heart space. So coming into that heart space, what you can do is you can sit at a laptop or a keyboard, or you can have even a pen or paper in front of you, however you decide to journal, and write a question, and then sit within yourself, and then just kind of try to focus on that question, but focus on like the area of your heart space and your like where you, like the seat of your soul is, and see what comes up. And then just like, even if it's only a phrase, write it down as like and that's kind of like a response. And it's written in your language. So like Spirit speaks to you in your language. So when they say that one phrase, or when they said something, or when they're giving you an image, what's the first thing that you think of? What are some of this, I call them spiritual threads. This is kind of like a really weird lesson that I'm getting. Just write whatever comes to you in whatever form or fashion that it comes to you in. And maybe I'll save that for a longer video of like what, like the mind and how you can interpret what's yours and what's somebody else's, or making sense of the stream of consciousness stuff. Comment down below if that's something that you want to hear about. I can do, depending on how long it is, I could do a video or a short on it. But essentially, that's kind of what the message is coming through for you, is that perhaps you're being called to journal and kind of go back and forth with creating your reality, asking yourself the question, well, where do you expect to be? And like, you know, where do I expect to be? And, you know, this is how I want to feel. What can this curate for me? I'm typing with my fingers because I usually do it on my Chromebook. But this is just a time period for you to come into yourself and connect with how you're feeling, and try. So I really get the sense that this is like a revitalizing thing. This is a recharging type of energy. So I feel like some of us could be stressed out or really in need of that at this time. Oh, what did I just say? I actually saw this card when gestation, like when Winter's Dream came up. I actually saw this Deep Quiet card, but I actually associate the two very closely together, so I'm very pleased that this card came out because it's just such a synchronistic message here. But Deep Quiet, meditation and stillness. It is also paired with the card Love and Accept Yourself. Thank you, angels, for lovingly guiding me to self-acceptance. And with these cards paired together, it's almost like in the seat of your soul that you can reach through deep meditation and quiet, you are connecting with the love of yourself. Really connecting with, and this isn't just about, oh, like I feel like I'm pretty or I'm smart or like I know that I'm good enough and I'm worthy of things. And sometimes it's those things that are what we need. But this is in terms of honoring what your soul wants in this lifetime, which may not be what society has taught you. So if you're somebody, for example, who really loves, like let's say you come from a family who really cares about money, for example, okay? And you're finding that the things that you want to do in life don't typically earn you a lot of money. You may have to shift your perspective in order to view abundance in other ways. Not to accommodate it, because I feel like abundance is truly many other things. It's not just money. The reason why I'm stalling is because I actually have this camera set up in front of my door, and my ferret is behind the door pushing and trying to get comfortable because there are some stuffed animals back there that he likes to burrow in. So, Coda, come here. Come here, cutie. Come here. Do you want to say hello? Come here. Okay. This is Coda. If you haven't seen him already, this is my baby. I think at the time that this is getting posted, he's on the YouTube banner. He's just very photogenic. But anyway, back to your reading while you enjoy this little ferret love in my arms. He's very sleepy, so he's lounging at the moment. But especially when paired with loving and accepting yourself, with your changing, I want to make this too about me, because this is a very familiar energy for me. This is a very familiar energy with, again, the example, you know me, I use personal examples. If you've seen my other videos, you know I use personal examples. But like if you come from a family that like really values money, you could be, oh, he's so cute. If you come from a family that really values money and you're finding that you want to go for things, or that like money just like, you may want to be successful, but maybe it's not the money that's important to you. Maybe that's it. Or maybe you struggle with those feelings of money. I do feel finances are coming through strongly because of the second house in the astrology dice. And when I roll the astrology dice, it's meant to be what can assist me in understanding this main theme for the collective. For some of you, it might not be money, and that's okay. This might not be the reading for you, but if you are finding other messages in this reading, then I'm glad. But I do feel like in this meditation and stillness, you are finding ways to love and accept yourself. And that is also respecting that you might not want the things that you were taught that you should want, basically. Or like the values and priorities that society like still instilled in you, that might not be what you want. And you might have to, okay, Spirit's saying remember this. Spirit is saying specifically this is important, that you need to honor what you want out of life. So let's say you have been focused and driven for the longest time on being a traveler. And you're like, I want to see the world, I want to travel. But then you find as you get older, like, I only really just want to be comfortable. Maybe you're like just a homebody, but you, like, perhaps you've come from a family or a community that really valued traveling to different places. And that's totally okay to not want to travel to different spaces. It's totally okay to want to be within the home, to grace everyone in the community with your presence. Like, you can change lives in your community too, and you don't even have to like change lives to live in this life. Like, you can just live in comfort and joy if you are able. If you are able and you have the resources to do so, that is something that you are able to do. And Spirit will not shun you for it. They're not going to place you higher or lower on like a spiritual hierarchy, because we're all equal. They love you all the same. So Spirit's saying love yourself in whatever form you come in. If you don't want to give to humanity, if it really just brings you joy to make you happy, and you find more joy in giving yourself like spa and pampering treatments, then like, then joining like a volunteer program, there's no shame in that. There are other people who join volunteer work, and there are other people who get jobs in, for example, like the humanities fields or like the customer service fields. So really just about accepting those parts of yourself, because I really want to push back against those taboo, because it's okay to be selfish. That's just what I'm saying. It's okay to be selfish. That's okay. I mean, the world does need a lot of selfless people, but there comes a point where I feel like, bless you, there comes a point where I feel like sometimes we are so selfless that we are damaging ourselves. So I do feel like giving to others is very important for our own vitality. It's very important for us. But in terms of you could be a generous soul that just is exhausted from helping people, exhausted from pouring your energy into people when you're not really receiving the same. And you need to learn to love yourself and give back to yourself so that you can mirror what you want to receive from other people and what other people can receive from you. Okay? So let's see what else we have. We have, and that's interesting because 5 could be an important number for you. I also see one card was 11, so 1-1, and the other card, this next card is 5-5. So 1s and 5s could be special numbers for you, but I do love that they are. You also have a card here that has a 5 too. It's like your main theme is 52. So 5 is the card of change, or 5 is the number of change, I'm sorry. Words. But you have the farther gate, bold step forward. And paired with that, you have loved one in heaven. Thank you, loved ones in heaven, for drawing close at this time. Okay, this would explain it, because right before this, I took a nap and I started hearing things about my loved one that has passed on, one of my loved ones that has passed on. And I was like, why are they popping up now? Of all times, why now? And I'm starting to see that this is how my angels and guides kind of because usually they prepare me for these readings and they channel me things. So for you, I think that perhaps you've been a part of a very long grieving process. I don't feel like the grieving process is ever really over, especially if you there is moving on taking place, but you will always, you will never feel the same after a loved one dies. And that's just the truth. You're always going to miss them, and they're here. They're around. You've probably felt their presence. You've probably experienced them in dreams, or you see signs of them everywhere. And it's almost like you're taking a big step forward. You're taking a big leap in terms of, this could, for some of you, I'm getting a dual message here. So for some of you, you could be moving forward in the grieving process. And by doing that, it's almost like you're stepping into this new life. You're stepping into this new life and just taking that bold step forward. And your loved one on the other side is cheering you on and helping set up your path for success, basically. So they're doing what they can to put the right gears into the machine so that it can spin towards and start working towards your desired outcome. And for the other half of you, so like I said, for some of you, it's moving on from the grieving process and taking bold steps in that. It could be just your placement. Some of you could feel a call to move away from a home, if you've lost a loved one that you shared a home with. For some of you, you could be letting that go. I don't know why I don't know why, this is just a random message that I'm giving to somebody, but it does feel like some of you are moving away from some of you could be physically moving away from a place. Some of you could also be, maybe getting rid of an ex's old things. I don't really know why that's coming through. And this could be this could quite literally be a loved one helping you move forward with something that you have been stuck on, moving from grief. I'm not sure why I'm getting different messages with that. It could be moving on from a loved one, and it could also be moving on from something in the past. Let's see. So we have, to anchor our reading, we have great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. I just heard from Spirit this is a clue. So, here. We're getting too curious now, Coda. You can go down. Say goodbye to our audience. Say goodbye, Coda. Okay. But with the great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. You've been through the ringer, and it's almost like you're like, I don't want to go back for more. But I will have to say that you have a great power now. Because you have gone through things that other people did not experience, you've had to learn things that other people in life don't have to. That's the case with everyone, but with you specifically, I'm getting the strong sense that you are kind of in a teacher mode right now. Not quite literally a teacher, but you can speak from experience on many different issues. So you're learning from these experiences, and you're able to be that teacher for others when perhaps you weren't able to have that teacher for yourself. We typically, I hate to say it, but we typically learn the most when we don't have a teacher. When we have to navigate things ourselves, because we're making so many, what we feel at the time are mistakes. But we are learning so much from those mistakes, and then we are able to share those mistakes with others. So I find that oftentimes, this doesn't mean shut yourself out from potential help when you have it, just for the sake of learning your spiritual lessons in its full entirety. Because there's always something more to learn. I don't think we can ever fully experience something and learn everything we, like, I don't know. I don't want to speak too much on, like, our soul plan and our soul path. For whatever reason in this reading, it feels like there's a lot of soul planning and soul path here. Spirit does just want to affirm to you that there is a plan. If you were ever in doubt about that, there is a plan, and that you're a rock star, basically. You're rocking it, and you're doing great on your path, even if it doesn't feel like it. But this card is actually a clue, and they're saying that this is a clue for, like, if you're unsure of where you want to go, see yourself as this, the great teacher. See yourself as a teacher. You're not the only one that teaches these things, but you're the only one that can teach it in the way that you know how, with your curated experiences. And there are people who need to hear what you have to say. There are people who need to be taught by you. And I don't know. I feel like that's just it for that message. I feel like that's it for that message. But we do have... Oh, interesting. We do have one more message here. And then we're going to roll the dice for you. We have Whale Song, Resonating. We also have the card, Yes! So, I mean, for some of you, this reading could be resonating strongly. And you could be, like, jumping in, like, yay! Like... You know, for some of you, this is just confirmation that this is your reading. If you're resonating with this energy, if you actually feel this type of synergy where you're getting charged up by looking at this, then this could be something that is resonating strongly with you. Whale Song, actually, though, for the rest of you, because I feel like that was a very small portion of you. For, like, this could be, like, echoing the energy that you're feeling now. For the rest of you, Whale Song, Resonating, this is a card of... okay, first of all, I'm hearing you need to switch your pace. So for some of you, your pacing could be a little bit off, and maybe some of us are very cyclical beings that we put all our energy into something, and then we might have to come within for a while, and then we put a lot of energy out, and then we come within for a while. So if that's the way you operate, that's totally fine. I don't know if our world is set up to accommodate that structure. I wish it was. But if that's resonating with you, Spirit's saying roll with that because it's what your body needs. Roll with what resonates with you. Just follow in your high-vibing energy. And also Spirit is saying say yes when you feel like saying yes. Say yes often enough when you have the energy for that. Okay? When you're floating between worlds, it's the opportunities that are going to save you and help build your path forward. And I wouldn't say saving because we save ourselves, but it's almost like these opportunities can be salvation for you. Or it could be the opportunity that you've been longing for, or it could be something where you're unsure of your path, and you're like, well, this is an opportunity. I feel like I'm stuck up against the wall and I have to take it, but then it turns out to be like the greatest thing ever. So it's just learning, like, to follow your intuition. Your intuition will tell you when to say yes to something that will resonate with your soul. It might not resonate immediately, but it will resonate down the line, and you'll understand why you are in these situations, why you are in the things that you are in. And again, I actually see 2 6s in your reading too. I do feel like 5 and 1 for you are the most imperative numbers. I'm also getting 6 too, but specifically 5, which is the energy. I keep saying the energy. It's the like numerology 5 is change, big up leveling. I like to see 5s. It's an annoying energy to work with, though. I'm not gonna lie, because it feels tumultuous sometimes. But that going within right now is going to be pretty imperative for you in finding what does resonate. The whale is singing its song. You are the whale singing your song, so follow that tune to wherever it is you feel you're called to go. We have 749 here for your angel numbers book, or your angel numbers message. We're going to pull from this book by Kyle Gray, as always, to close out your reading. Let's see, 749. Angel wisdom is encouraging you to take a leap of faith. It's important for you to know that you have powerful opportunities to learn, and the trust you have within will lead to a deeper connection with yourself. One more time. Angel wisdom is encouraging you to take a leap of faith. It's important for you to know that you have powerful opportunities to learn, and the trust you have within will lead you to a deeper connection with yourself, which I feel like is all what this gestation period is for, this wandering between the realms, this coming within yourself to connect with your emotions. That's getting to know yourself better and loving yourself more, I feel like, is like kind of like your main theme at this time. So thank you so much, Collective. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, comment, all the things, whatever you feel called to do. I do post. I try to post often. Life has been crazy with these eclipses happening all over the place, but yes, so I do post weekly sometimes. I do post collectives, pick a cards occasionally. I have a Patreon launching soon. So yeah, if you want to keep up with me, if you think I'm cool, if you like my vibe, do all the things. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.